Good morning. Welcome to Wisdom for Your Week. I'm April Williams, and this is your Tuesday Truth. Thank you for joining me this morning. Tori Amos said, sometimes you got to know when it's time to turn the page. So all week we're talking about how to deal with toxic workplaces, toxic managers, toxic bosses. And I want to continue today. Yesterday, the Monday morning memo was identifying the signs. And today we're talking about how to deal with it. Because you first have to identify before you can actually deal with the situation. Richard Branson said, train people well enough so they can leave. Treat them well enough so that they don't want to. But what if your boss isn't kind? And we talked yesterday about the characteristics of a toxic boss. So what do you do when your boss isn't kind? Well, here's some tips in dealing with a toxic manager. Number one, never get involved personally. Never get involved personally. Don't react to abuse or criticism. Don't retaliate. Don't allow your self-esteem to be crushed. How someone treats you does not define you. Your worth is not measured by someone else's opinion of you. Don't stay in a job that beats you down and destroys your self-confidence. Because life is too short to work at a job that you loathe. So don't take it personally. It's not a personal thing. Number two, don't try to change your boss. Don't try to change your boss. You can't change someone else's attitude. You can only change your own attitude. Now, I would encourage you, if your boss, if you can do it, go to your boss and talk about how his or her behavior is affecting you. And on one other Wisdom for Your Week, I covered how to confront. Simon Sinek has a great 3-step to confronting someone. So go back and listen to that at some point if you decide to confront or talk about the situation with your boss. If you can, talk about how his or her actions are affecting you. But don't maintain this idea that you can change your boss. You can't change anybody's attitude but your own. Number 3, document everything. Document everything. Keep emails, documents that are relevant. You should always document everything. Number 4, it's your life. Enjoy yourself. If you can, forget about work. If you can leave it behind you, if it's not a situation where you can leave, if it's not a situation where you can leave immediately, or you feel like, hey, I can deal with this, well then you need to, when you go home, turn it off. Enjoy yourself. Forget about your work. Enjoy your life. If all else fails, if you've talked to your boss, if you talk to other people, and I encourage you, if it gets to the point, you may need to talk to HR, but if it gets to the point where you've tried everything else, and as your last resort, you need to resign, because your mental, physical, and emotional health, if it's being affected, you need to consider leaving. Now, I wouldn't suggest quitting your job before you have another one. I've seen a lot of people do that. I would suggest looking for a job while you're still employed. But if all else fails, if your mental and physical and emotional health is being affected, if you're losing sleep, if it's affecting your relationships with your family, if it's making you feel beat down and no self-confidence, you need to leave. Life is too short to work at a job that you loathe or work in a place where you're not treated properly. Like I said again, as Tori Amos said, you got to know when it's time to turn the page. So if all else fails, then that's what you need to do. So number 1 was don't get involved personally. Don't retaliate. If they're being nasty, don't play their game. You maintain a professional attitude. Number 2, don't try to keep this idea that you can change your boss. You can't change anybody. You can only change yourself. Number 3, document everything. Have it in writing. Number 4, when you can, just let it go. Enjoy yourself. Forget about work. And number 5, if all else fails, then you need to really consider resigning from your position, looking for another job. Because life is meant to enjoy. God gave us a life to enjoy, and life is too short to stay in a job that you hate. And that is your Tuesday Truth. Hey, like and share with 5 people that you know who need to hear this message. Also, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And later today, Todd has his Todd Talk at 9:05. You need to hear that today. It goes really well with what I'm talking about. Many times we get locked in a job or a position, and it becomes difficult. It becomes so laborious. It consumes our life, so much so that we forget to dream. And Todd's talking about dreams this week. So if you're at a place where you've been stuck in a certain job or career and you're not dreaming anymore, you're not reaching for other things, hey, watch Todd at 9:05 today. You will really be inspired by that. Also, go to our website, wisdom4beyond.com, wisdomforbeyond.com. There's great resources there, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel under the same name, Wisdom for Your Week. You will enjoy that also. Also, you can send me an email at wisdomforyourweek@gmail.com, wisdomforyourweek@gmail.com. Also, hey, send us a letter. If Wisdom for Your Week blesses you, if Today with Todd blesses you, then hey, you can send us a letter. We are at P.O. Box 1981, P.O. Box 1981 at Lancaster, South Carolina, 29721. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, this was April with Wisdom for Your Week. Stay inspired.